Alright, so check out this unfortunately designed fight. So it's very tight spaces. So your first instinct is to keep moving. But the problem is when you change directions, you're really standing still for a second. And here's the thing. If you have a velocity to the right, as you're moving, as you're strafing maybe towards a wall, trying to dodge this cyber, he's not shooting. You don't know what he's doing. But so now you've hit the wall. Now you need to turn around, right? Well, what's going to happen is if he decides to shoot you right at that moment where you're turning around, you're fighting your speed to the right by trying to strafe left. You're going to have to slow down to a stop and then build up speed to the left. And that's just the way physics works, not to get too much into that. But what I would recommend is as you approach the wall, kind of stop for a second and see what he does. If he shoots, your hands will hopefully still be on the same keys, and you'll be able to just move just a little bit more, move over to that wall, and then continue dodging and just play. Now, if he doesn't shoot, then what will happen is you will bring yourself to a standstill, and then you'll be able to just dodge the opposite way, and it'll be fine. So it's going to be hard to get this guy to do what I want, but let's see. So did you see that? He wasn't shooting, so I stopped for a second just before I reached that wall. Now if he shot there, I would have strafed to the right and then started charging up my two-shot. But instead, I stopped there, he didn't shoot for a second, and since I'm from a standstill, I don't have to fight any momentum, so if I start to strafe left, I'll have a much better chance of being able to dodge. So just die. And it makes it just a little bit more consistent. And this just goes for any of these tight quarters, cyber demon areas. Like if he's like getting in your space, it's way better. It's way better to just try to see what he does and just react to what he does than to be strafing back and forth like this. Because if you're just strafing back and forth like this, he could shoot right there and you're gonna eat it. Now if you're in a dire situation, I highly recommend you do that whole thing that Kinetic shows. If you somehow turn the corner, there's a cyber demon, you need to come back. When you're here, you need to flick your mouse to the side and you need to be strafe running. So like if you're stuck there, you need to immediately be strafe running to get the highest chance of getting out of the way. But it'd be even better if you just didn't get yourself in that position in the first place and kind of did what I showed here. If you take nothing else away from this video, this is the skill right here. One of the big things I wanted to teach with Legion of the Balls of Steel is, since the combat is really, this first fight is really dependent on how you handle the archviles on the outside, I wanted you to really learn how to use tracers. So of course we all know how the BFG works, but if you really want to get the most out of your tracers, one of the things is you gotta get that value out of your tracers without having to stand still at any point during the fight, because a lot of fights like this, you got Revenant missiles chasing you, you might have Cyber Demon rockets chasing you and stuff like that. So if you stop for too long waiting for those tracers to go off, you're gonna eat it. So you gotta stack BFG tracers and try to put tracers over to the side as you're passing by, kind of like on your way to the next area. So let's say I'm not thinking about it too much. I just kind of put the tracers in the direction I'm going. I go in for these guys. You get zapped into Rev missiles and you die. But instead, let's say I stayed back here. I stack some tracers. All these tracers go off as I'm going. And then, just as I was rounding that corner, I kept turning to the side. The purpose of this is just so I can get those tracers on them as I'm continuing to move and dodge the Rev missiles that are behind me. And this also helps with speed running, because if you can make the most value out of every single tracer, like for example, maybe you're going to get ammo or you're going to press a switch, you're going to probably shoot the BFG at that switch and hit nothing. Well, if you can take a second, make a big turnaround, get some tracers on the enemies, and then turn and hit the switch, little things like that can help save time and possibly save your life as the skill cap goes up with some of the new wads that are coming out. So I'm going to do the same thing again here with these arch files. There, and that worked. So I got like 2 sets of tracers at the start. They went off immediately once I got there, and then as I'm passing by, I put some tracers to the side and I hit them. And then in general, as I'm playing this fight, see, I'm shooting BFG balls in the distance. All those are going off and hitting those guys at once. I had to move because I saw that infighting rocket, but holy crap. Oh, my map. But anyway, so that and shooting BFG balls in the distance to stack them on enemies is going to help a lot, especially for some of those fights where it gets really tight on space. If you can just get even 1 extra set of tracers to prevent you from getting stuck, maybe kill just a couple more revenants, it might make all the difference in the world. There's a fight where you need to play just about perfectly with your BFG tracers. You need to hit all of your tracers like from the distance, stack them. You need to hit things on your way around. You need to grab ammo whenever you get low. And even though the new DSDA Doom, you can change the auto switching whenever you run out of ammo, but still, if you can consistently grab BFG and manage your ammo in the middle of the action, then you'll just be able to just shoot every opportunity that you can, because especially for a fight like this that loves to get out of control during those vulnerable moments, it can make all the difference in the world. So let's see if we can do this. So here's how to get a better chance of killing 2 arch files in 1 BFG shot. So for this fight, it's very stingy on the BFG ammo because you want to save some for the box fight when you do this route. So shoot our BFG ball in the distance and everything. Now, real quick, I am moving a little bit left. That way the cone of tracers is more likely to concentrate on that arch file that's about to spawn in, so that'll get him. And yeah, so it may not have worked that time, but he died in 2 rockets. He was severely wounded. So let's try that again. If they're closer together, that'll work a lot more often. Well. So that's to give you a better chance. It's not going to work every time, but it's one of those little things that might make a difference for you. So some stuff about auto switching is if you want to pick up this rocket launcher and shoot just a little bit faster than you would by grabbing it normally, what you can do is hit any one of your weapon binds. For example, I use the mouse wheel because that just switches to whatever's next or however that works. But I just know that it'll do the job here, and it's kind of quick access for me. I do it, and if you think about the weapon switch animation, there's a part where a weapon lowers and a new weapon raises. So if you grab the gun in the middle of the weapon raising, and like the game has already chosen what weapon is going to raise up, then you're going to end up having, for example, like the fist come up, and then that's going to go back down, and then the infinite rocket launcher is going to come out. So you need to grab it like at the end of that lowering animation. That's pretty much the sweet spot. So like that, and then the new gun will come up in that smooth transition. Now let's say this is a forced auto switch for something you don't want. I want to use this to switch to the pistol and have that smooth animation. What I can do is I can grab it, and as soon as I grab it, hit the pistol. So once that animation has started, hit that pistol bind and the pistol will come up. So you can use that for whatever you need to. So the BFG and this lame rocket launcher with limited ammo have fire safety. So let's say you're holding on to the fire button here, still gonna hold on to it, grab the rocket launcher, and it doesn't shoot until I let go and shoot again. Then I can just hold it and fire comfortably. But to get around this, I recommend that anytime you switch to a BFG or a rocket launcher, that you start mashing the button and you'll be able to shoot as soon as possible. Something also kind of interesting is if you're not shooting and then you grab one of the guns, then you just have to click in the middle of the switching animation and it'll fire right away. But since that's too much to think about during a fight, in my opinion, I just always mash the button whenever I'm switching to one of these weapons. So I've decided to recreate situations where you're either stuck with revs or with Hell Knights. So also with revs, what I do with the revs, I recommend for Cacos, if you have the health, I recommend it with Cacos. I recommend it with Lost Souls, Imps, and then for this Hell Knight one, of course Barons, because they're basically the same thing. And that's pretty much it for as far as getting stuck. So here's the technique. So for Hell Knights, kind of staying back. This is how you push through Hell Knights, because you can't just W through them, and staying back just a little bit will give you a chance to dodge them. But with revs, for example, you're spraying them all down with tracers. They're all getting stunned. You could just have a line of projectiles in your face, so you're probably going to take a ton of damage if you try to stay back that way. So for revs, I recommend shake the hell out of that mouse. Yeah, that's the thing about this. It's a last resort. That's why you really need to not get stuck. Learn your fights really well, so it doesn't come down to this. But still, it is possible. So you're shaking the mouse and you're holding W, you're shaking the mouse and you're alternating strafe left and strafe right, and that'll give you your best chance to get out of there. So you saw the big like range of things that can happen to you, but either way, it's better than either standing still here or just holding W or whatever. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what you think of this new format that I got here with a bunch of small skills in one video. It's going to be hard to come up with a bunch more for another video like it. It's a pretty simple game, not going to lie. But I would like to cover, like for example, a large topic in one video again. One thing I'd like to really cover is platforming, since I've been putting a lot of pressure on myself to platform late in the runs and stuff like that. I haven't done one to this point because I never felt qualified to quite do it, but hopefully you guys see me as qualified and I might be able to do some good with that. But anyways, future plans aside, hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, peace.